Welcome to Engine Adventures. Today we've got the 2020 Nissan Titan. Just doing the fuel mileage run right now. And this truck is pretty awesome. It's got the new 9-speed automatic transmission. It shifts really smooth, but it's still crisp. You can feel it engage, but it's not jerky at all. I love the design of this transmission. It's very similar, I should say that the Frontier is very similar to this one, as the 9-speed in the Frontier was based off the 9-speed in the Titan. It has a lot better torque converter lockup zone and a whole bunch of other great features which make it just shift so smooth and yet feel stout. And this has the updated engine, which is just the same. They're just saying run premium fuel and you'll get 400 horsepower out of it. The Infinity has had that 400 horsepower for quite a while, so I don't think they changed much on the engine. And of course, this is the Pro 4X. And the color on this is Red Alert, which is a little bright for me, but if you like fire engines, you'll probably like this. And it's a great truck overall. We'll get into all the off-road stuff in the next video. And the fuel mileage, I'm not done yet, but towing uphill, we're getting about 8 miles per gallon, 8 to 8.5, and that's with this 5,000-pound trailer. Sorry for the traffic. So this trailer is not very heavy, but it has a huge flat face on it, which really hurts the fuel economy. Let's take a look at a couple things here real quick. So, it does have the trailer brake controller right there, adjust your gain and other settings. And this new screen is very nice. The backup camera is nice, but it doesn't have a zoom feature that I could find. So it's centered, which is a huge thing. I hate when the camera's off center. I think you've seen me do some other videos where even their marks that show where your hitch is gonna be don't line up with where your hitch actually is. So when it's on center, it just makes it super easy to hook up. No problem doing that in this truck. Even without the zoom feature, the screen's big enough you can see pretty well. So let's just move on. We'll finish this test and get back to you at the gas station. Getting 8.5 miles per gallon, 8.4, as the computer readout says right now. This thing tows really well. I'm not 100% sure what fuel's in it. I imagine it's premium. You can run whatever, but it will have the most horsepower and performance if you run premium. So when I fueled it up, I put premium in, but I only put like 5 gallons in. I haven't used that much gas. And it is like a 26-gallon tank, 25 or 26, something like that. So it's not too small, but if you're getting 8 miles per gallon towing, this trailer's 5,000 pounds, but it's really, really wind resistant, so it gets bad gas mileage. This trailer, I've never driven a trailer with worse gas mileage than this one at freeway speeds. So even though it's lightweight, it's just like pulling a billboard down the highway. And so 8 miles per gallon. The Ram 1500 with the Hemi non-e-torque, just the regular one, was able to return about 9. I think it was like 8.7. So we'll see what this one comes out to at the very end. I'll make sure and update you there. But I'm surprised at how well this thing tows. That's what I was getting at with the power and the gas octane rating. So the high 91 octane for this allows it to have 400 horsepower, 400 something, I think 413 torque, I'm not sure. But it seems to do really well. It's in tow haul mode. This new 9-speed auto is great. It's always in the right gear, at least right now when towing. And the ride is really pretty smooth. I'm going over this. This is cement right here, and it is a tiny bit bumpy as you get sometimes in the cement, where the truck lines up almost perfectly with the grooves, expansion joints that are cut into it. So it's kind of doing that to me right now, but it does tow really, really well. It's stable. It's definitely a lot more stable than the Ram Rebel I had just a few weeks ago. Not that the Ram was unstable, but I'm not using weight distribution on either of these trucks, and the Ram was definitely a little more floaty on the front end, on the steering, than this one is. It does have a built-in trailer brake controller from the factory, and it's down low right here on the right hand side. You can't see it probably. There we go, it's right here, and easy to reach. So this is probably one of the steepest spots on the route. It's just so short, but the truck does do great braking. It downshifts with that 9-speed. It's got a lot of gears it can choose from, so it does pretty well as far as engine braking to slow you down. It's not as good as a diesel with the exhaust brake, of course, but it still does pretty well. All right, 59.3 miles. Computer says 9.8 miles per gallon. Took an hour and 16 minutes. Let's go ahead and fuel up and see how much fuel we actually used. All right, 59.3 miles divided by 6.394, and it's 9.27 miles per gallon, which is actually really good. That's one of the best I've had non-diesel, so one of the best gas V8s I've tested. A couple exterior things I wanted to show you. Of course, it's the Pro 4X, so you get red tow hooks. That way you can find them. Beefy skid plates all the way underneath, and we'll get a shot of that. Has fog lights that can only be turned on with the headlights. And then I wanted to show you the bed as well. So it has these tracks with those adjustable anchors right there. And you see the light right there. So that actually shines through. The other one's underneath. They just turned off, but that actually shines through that gap in the tailgate. And when you come around here, then you have these lights that light up your tailgate as well. So they light up the bed and they light up the tailgate. So this tailgate is assisted now and damped when you drop it. So if you drop it, it doesn't just slam down. Easy to close one-handed. Does have this step here as well. Makes it easy to get in. Pickup trucks used to have those stake pockets in the corners and usually in the middle. At least on the long beds, they had them in the middle. And they've kind of done away with that. I imagine there's probably still there. It's got this shape. I don't know. But anyway, they don't have that as a handle. So you kind of reaching underneath there. That's a little bit of a sharp edge if you're using that step to climb in. I don't know. These little extra steps aren't my favorite thing. The one I do like is the bumper step on the GM products. But other than that, not my favorite. Just a quick shot of the engine bay here. It's not super tight. I think if this plastic cover were off, you'd have a lot more room to see what's in there. But it seems like you can get to some things fairly easily. This is that 5.6 liter V8 Endurance. This thing is pretty nicely pointed. So you've got leather that is heated and cooled. It just turned off on me because I had it sitting for too long. Right here, built-in trailer brake controller, 4-wheel drive switch, push button start rather, traction control button, park sensors. This is the lane departure warning button to turn that system on and off. And then the heated steering wheel. All your climate control stuff here. And then here, you've got different camera views. So it's looking forward at the moment on this one. When you're in reverse, obviously they ought to flip over. And then you can switch it here to get a close-up view. And then turn it off. You have adaptive cruise control, plenty of buttons there on the steering wheel to control everything. Those are your headlights, with the center button being the fog light button, and then additional cargo lamp, your 110 volt outlet, 120 volt, downhill assist, the rear differential lock, and on the far left on the bottom there is to adjust your headlights when you have weight in the back. And that was pretty cool. I think I've shown it on other vehicles, but it'll adjust how your headlights are pointed. So as you're pulling a trailer or something and the rear settles and your headlights point up a little bit more, you can use that to move your headlights back down so you're not blinding everyone. So has the USB-C and the regular USB-A, I think is what that one's called. Anyway, the 12 volt there. There is a 12 volt in here. No chargers underneath there at all, but those do hold your phones with spaces so you can run your cord down through. Back here, there's your 120 volt outlet, heated seats on the outboard, USB, and a 12 volt. And dual map pouches, or whatever those are called. It's pretty comfortable back here. 2 cup holders there in the center armrest, 2 here, 2 in each door. And this particular one has these nice rubber floor mats on top of a carpet floor mat. So the seats fold forward. You can store stuff behind here on both sides, and then your child seat anchors are there. They fold up and they lock in place with this handle, grocery bag hook. Additional storage underneath. You can fold this forward, have a flat loading surface, even lock it so you can't lift this up. And then additional storage there. And that's all the same on the other side. There's your jack and tools. A little bit more storage there. So, and then to drop it, you got to pull this handle. Easy enough. Up top, panorama moonroof, sunroof. So the front opens, that's the sunroof portion, and then the rear is just closed. But there you go. Also, one of the few vehicles that my Tifosi jets fit in no problem. So you see how thick those are. That thing is deep enough that my sunglasses actually fit in there. And then it's got the power rear window right there. And plenty of features. I'm not going to go through all this. I did want to, let's actually start it. I want to put it in reverse and show you that camera again, because I may have been wrong. So if I hit the camera button, it does do a full view on the rear. I didn't know that. So I thought I only had this option. So that gives you a little bit better zoom when you go to here when you're hooking up a trailer. But still, it doesn't have a zoom for the hitch, and it doesn't matter that much. This blue line, because the camera is centered and the hitch is centered, as it should be, of course, the hitches are always centered, but the cameras aren't. That blue line does line up with your hitch. So that works out nicely in this truck. Some trucks, the camera's offset, has a blue line that, or whatever, a line marking that tries to line up with it, but because you're from the side, it changes as you get closer. So thanks for watching Engine Adventures review of the 2020 Nissan Titan. Seeing has a new 9-speed automatic transmission, which is really nice. They claim the engine's updated, but I think it had a little bit of software tuning to get the extra power out of it. I liked how it rode on the road and how it towed that 5,000-pound trailer, camping trailer. It did really well, decent gas mileage, on par with everyone else. And I didn't actually talk about the empty MPG very much, but if you're cruising down the highway at 65, I bet you could get 22 miles per gallon. Around here, speed limits are 70. People drive over that by quite a bit, and I was around 19-20 miles per gallon. That's empty, just cruising on the highway. My combined city and highway was around 17-18, and then my total for the off-road, the on-road, all that stuff was around 16. So not too bad. I think it did quite a bit better than the Tundra and about on par with the other V8s in the class. And great truck overall. It rides good on the road. Empty, it rides pretty good. So the payload's probably not as high on this Pro 4X. I've got a picture of that, but let's go look in the door real quick. This is the longest outro ever. Payload, 1,267 pounds. Thanks for watching. Be sure and watch the upcoming off-road review. There'll be some fun stuff there. This is the Pro 4X with a locking rear differential. And if you have any comments, any thoughts, if you don't like what you saw, make sure and give me a thumbs down, but comment down below so I know why. And make sure to hit subscribe, ring that bell so you get notifications when I have upcoming videos, and I hope to see you again here soon.